It's Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by heavyweight prospect Johnny Fisher. Johnny, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, Dan. Thanks for having me on. I'm just a week back into training now, so ticking over nicely, and I'm ready to go again whenever I've got to.
Always a pleasure to have you on. You made your pro debut, long-awaited pro debut because of the pandemic, obviously, a couple of weeks ago. First round stoppage of Matt Gordon. Now, I know you're your own harshest critic, but you've got to be pretty happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, I know, because I think about the interviews we've done, like 2-3 interviews, thinking the fight was going to be the next week or the next couple of weeks, and it was a long time to build up to it, and there was a lot of pressure. And if you look at how other people dealt with Matt Gordon, who is quite durable when you look at the other knockouts and stoppages that have happened, I dismantled him better than anyone else. So I'm pleased with that. I know it's just the start, and it's very tough tests await me, but it's a good start. I couldn't have asked for a better start.
I'm guessing at this stage, so early on, you're not looking to get rounds in because you're getting all your training and your sparring. You just want to look as good as possible, build your profile, and get a bit of education in the ring. Yeah,
definitely. I'll never look to get rounds in, if you know what I mean. I always look, if the knockout's there, that's what I'm looking for. But at the same time, you've got to do that in an unrushed and in a calm and relaxed manner. So sometimes that might mean it takes 4, 5, 6 rounds to get someone out of there. And the rounds will come as they're meant to come. But while people are there to be taken, I will do everything I can to take people out.
And have you watched it back with the commentary on? Because the commentators were, pretty complimentary of your performance.
Yeah, I watched it back on a few different channels as well, because there's some smaller American channels and things like that. And it's good to see how they take it, because they're normally quite critical of people. And they gave me good criticism and stuff that I've got to work on, that I know. But on the whole, it has all been quite positive how people have taken it. And on a debut, that doesn't always happen. You obviously get a few comments and people saying, I had one person saying, yeah, he's good, but he's not ready for Tyson Fury. I was like, yeah, I know that. So you don't have to
hopefully that was someone on social media and not a paid commentator.
No, it wasn't a paid commentator. You know what I mean? You get a lot of people on social media and say all different things, but you've got to take that as it comes. So I'm just happy with the performance, and a lot of people seem like they think I had a good positive start, which is good.
I love that. Not ready for Tyson Fury. I'm not sure anyone's ready for Tyson Fury.
Everyone on the planet is, so no disgrace in that.
Now, when you did the Zoom calls before the fight with Matt Gordon, you were talking about Daniel Dubois coming into the camp. He announced on social media that he's going to be training with Mark and Jimmy Tibbs going forward. But at that point, he hadn't actually been into the gym. Has that changed yet? Have you actually seen him in the gym yet?
Yeah. I've been training with Daniel this last week. We've been doing a bit of running. So we've done a bit of running on Tuesday. We've done 10 rounds on the bags together on yesterday. So it's been great for me to train along Daniel, because obviously he's some steps above, and he's been in big fights, and his career's that bit ahead of me, and it's great to see him. And he's a really friendly guy as well. And what an opportunity to train alongside him.
And what's it feel like when you've got a fellow kind of heavyweight? He's not a prospect now, he's a contender, I guess, but you're both similar age, he's still quite young. Do you kind of look up to him, or is there more of will it be quite competitive, do you think?
Yeah, I look up to him, obviously, but it's still competitive as well. I want to be in there, show him what I can do as well. And make no mistake, I'm learning off Daniel, and I always will be, but he's learning off of me as well. So, as you said, Daniel's still young. He's got his whole career ahead of him still. He's been more active, and he's had that platform, and he's been there, and he's done superbly out of it. Just been pushed a bit too far in his last fight, but I still rate him as the top. He's got to be the top prospect in the United Kingdom right now.
You're part of that kind of Joe Joyce, S-Jam management stable. Has that come up in conversation yet? I imagine it could be a little bit awkward.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been, but it really hasn't, because when I was talking up Joe Joyce, I always praised Daniel as well, and said, look, he's got huge power, he's a great prospect, and whatever happens, he's going to come again. But I just think it's too early, and we all understood that. Daniel knows that it was probably too early for him. Daniel's dad was saying it's probably too early, and they've got praise for Sam as well. Sam Jones, they were saying, yeah, Sam really talks up his fighters, and he does a great job. So there's no animosity there. This is just boxing. This is business, and it's very much like that in the business world of boxing. You've got to mix with different people, and if you're a genuine person and you're honest, then there's no reason to be awkward, because you just speak your mind and you're honest.
Now, when are you guys gonna spar, and can I come and watch?
Yeah, them spars are going to be good. They're going to be good, but we know we're both under the pretense that we're sparring to help each other, and we're not going to have wars with each other, because obviously a war between me and Daniel, that could get quite tasty. But we don't need to do that. We need to work we need to work together, and we need to bring each other on, and we will do that as and when we need to. And if we need to get sparring in from outside, me and Mark have spoken, Steve and Jimmy will get sparring from outside. But when we spar together, we're there as mates. We're in the same stable now, so we're going to help each other.
And you mentioned Jimmy there. Obviously, Daniel mentioned him as well. Wealth of experience, legend in the boxing game. What sort of involvement does he have with you specifically at the moment? Is it kind of more talking than active involvement? Is he in the gym regularly? What does he bring?
Yeah, so Steve, I'd say Steve at the minute is my main sort of trainer at the minute, because Mark's always on the phone every day. He rings me, so it's great to have him. But he's obviously occupied with a massive fight Billy's got. Jimmy comes up the gym with us every week. He's up there a couple of times a week, 2-3 times a week. So he's overseeing Daniel and me and John Edges and other people. But he's overseeing it all. It's great to have him. He's a legend, isn't he? So to have him overseeing us all, it's fantastic for us all. And he teaches us, and he'll take the training sometimes. So it's great to have him in and around the gym.
And what can you tell us about Steve, who I guess so far has been a bit of an unsung hero?
Oh, Steve's been unbelievable for me. We just gelled. The way he's very calm, very relaxed, and he brought that into the bubble with him as well, and that it just helped me. We've trained together 6 months now, so we've gelled together really nicely, and his instructions are so clear. I noticed it first when Steve and Ian, they both took Ian Andrews, Steve's dad, they both took me sparring to Joe Joyce, and I could tell then that the instructions and the way they were in the corner was perfect for me. Very calm, very clear, and very vocal, and that was perfect for me. And we knew from that sort of point, doing them 3-4 spars with Joe for the Dubois fight, that if it ever needed to come to it, Steve could do a great job in my corner.
It seems to have been underlined in the last couple of years among a lot of the top trainers that having that number two, or even maybe that's a bit disrespectful, but having another real high quality trainer, at least one, if not more, in the camp is incredibly important, especially when you've got a busy gym. Yeah,
we've got a good stable of fighters now. I mean, we've got me, James Orley, John Edges, Harvey Orn, Charlie Duffield, Finn James as well, another young boy coming through with Billy Joe, and Daniel. There's so many of us. But with Steve there, he's only going to get better as well, Steve, because he's got a wealth of experience. He's done a lot of fighting himself in boxing and other sports, MMA and stuff like that. He's been involved in fighting a lot. So all he needs to do now is learn what it's like to be a trainer and gel that together. And he's already doing that, and it's been great for us all.
Is there any projection on when you're next likely to be out? I know you've only just been out, but you are back in the gym. I'm sure you're keen to be active. Have they given you any ideas?
Yeah, so Sam's been saying end of April, sort of May time. He's meeting with Eddie next week, I think, and or this end of this week. Talk about Florian Marker and me, Lorraine Richards, and I want to get out as soon as possible. Really, at end of April, May, because I'm fit. I've just got to get a couple of weeks to get myself back to where that fighting fitness was, because obviously you peak, you come down, your mental side of it's a bit. Not like I'm mentally strong and I'm ready to go, no problem about that. But your body does have a natural rest, doesn't it? So it's about getting that peak back up, and I'll be ready to go within a couple of weeks. So April, May time would be perfect.
In terms of improvements, obviously you want to improve your all-round game, but is there anything in particular that you're focusing on, either based on the last fight or based on the last 6 months in the gym?
Yeah, well, the last fight was based on we fighting a southpaw, so I didn't really get to showcase what my jab was all about because I wasn't thinking about that. Our whole game plan was to get trigger happy with the right hand. I know I pressured him for the first minute, and I was always going to do that to show my authority. Then I stood off, and then I got the count of right hands in. So I've got a good jab, and I want to show people that I can use that jab. So that's going to be something we're always going to work on, because everything comes off the jab.
And in terms of your future bills that you appear on with Matchroom, do you think it's important that you're on kind of big heavyweight bills so that you get the reflection of that? So like, obviously you're going to miss out on Dillian Whyte in Gibraltar, but going forward, like a Joshua Bill or whoever.
I'm honestly, whatever card I get put on, I'm happy with, because it'd be great to be on them heavyweight cards. But for me, I'm in a building phase, so I'm lucky to be on any sort of Matchroom cards, and I'm going to keep doing that. So if I fight abroad, that'd be brilliant, on this show in Italy or something like that, or whatever show I'm put on, I'm grateful for, and I'll put my mark down.
Give us an idea from the amateurs and being in university, obviously you're a graduate and all of that, to where you are now, not only a short time later, but how has your life changed?
Well, if I look back now, this time last year, I was just on that camp with Joe in Las Vegas. And a few weeks before that, I was a full-blown university student, not having that much money at all, really, just living as much as I could and enjoying it. And I really enjoyed my university experience, but I always stayed dedicated even through them years. And people would be like, people be going out for dinner, going out for nightclubs and stuff. I'll be coming home at 10:30 and training. I've always loved training, no matter where I've been. I've always loved doing the training since the age of about 16, 17. I've really enjoyed it. But my life has changed a lot, and it's only because I've worked hard and I've got a little bit of luck along the way, and I'm going to keep doing it. I want to go back to Exeter Uni one day and see everyone, but for now, at the minute, I've got to be focused on the job at hand.
Great stuff. Well, we'll talk again when you get a fight date, if that's all right. And wish you the very best of luck with your training. And yeah, hopefully I'll get to visit the gym sometime soon.
Yep, of course. Come down whenever you want, Dan. It'd be good to see you. And thanks for having me on.
Cheers, mate. Always a pleasure. Take care.
Cheers, Dan. I'll speak to you soon, mate.
Speak soon.
Cheers, mate.